Hi there, my name is Becky. Welcome to our journey between maples and palms. We started this journey to help you follow along on our transition as a Canadian family running on the hamster wheel the way we all do, to slowing down and living a life that is calmer and closer to nature and just more what we are craving in our souls. We're missing something here in Canada. We're working too hard and not getting ahead. So we wanted something different, and I want to share it with you so you can all know that it's possible and you can do it too. So follow along and I'll give you all the tips and tricks, but we'll start off with our story. This all started in summer 2024. I just asked my husband Dan if he thought we would ever live out our dream of eventually living oceanside in a warm tropical climate. He said most likely no. It was only a few days later I ran into a friend at work that told me the news that he was going to be buying a piece of land in Panama on the ocean. I had to know more. I asked him to please send me the details and came home expecting Dan to say it all sounded crazy. When I came home, he told me he had just talked to someone at work that told him he sold his property in Costa Rica for 3 times the amount he bought it for, and he was also going to use some of the money to build in Panama because it was such an up-and-coming place for retirees. We both thought, what are the chances? This has to be fate, and we had to pursue it further. Cautiously at first, because online there's a lot of stories of people buying land that wasn't actually free to sell. We met with the sellers and looked at the available lots. After a bit of research, we thought, why not? And we picked oceanfront lot, sight unseen. Dan and I have traveled a decent amount, but we had never actually been to Panama. We took our first trip there in November 2024 to finalize our lot. We rented a beachside home in Las Tablas on the same coast we were buying. We actually walked to our lot from the house we rented, and on the way home the tide came in and Dan lost the rental car keys in the high tide. He was following Sandy, a somewhat stray mixed breed that has now become a part of our community. Sandy showed him the safe way back, minus the deep water. We tried to find the keys later, but it was hopeless. The car company came the next day from 2.5 hours away with a new car for us. That first trip was amazing and had us fall in love with Panama. With November being the end of the rainy season, everything was green and lush, and the sunrise was incredible. A short 40-minute drive away from Las Tablas is the town of Pedasi. From there, you can take a boat for about 20 minutes to Iguana Island, a true paradise. The iguanas there are pretty tame, and the amount of hermit crabs will blow your mind. I love that this place is only an hour and a half from our property. Since that first trip in November, we visited Panama 8 times. We started to build on our lot, starting with a garage. We wanted somewhere to stay comfortably when we eventually built the house. We realized it's really important to be there when building, so we held off on doing the main house, and we set up the garage as more of a hotel setup with a full bathroom that we could use so we could stay comfortably. Soon after that was complete, we decided to add a pool bar because after doing some research, we realized solar is really the way to go in Panama. So our pool bar came with a solar room behind it, and we had the entire system set up for us for our March break visit with our 2 teenage boys. We've just recently sold our house, and I will be living with my amazing parents who offered to host us while Dan sets us up in Las Tablas. The next step we've reached in this moving process is figuring out how to get all of our belongings here into a shipping container across the ocean to Panama. So we've ordered the container. We decided to buy one because if you purchase it, you can take your time unloading it, and we don't know exactly how long it's going to take for the house to be built. So that's where we're at now. I'm going to continue posting videos for anyone who's interested in how this all works as far as getting your visa, working there with a labor permit. There's multiple ways you can go about this. It all just kind of depends if you want to be there as a retiree or if you actually want to work there. So I'll be sharing lots of videos and lots of information on this whole process based on what we've learned now. We've learned a lot in this last year and a half with our trips there and talking to people, talking to locals, other expats, and I'd love to share the information with you all. So stay tuned and I'll post as frequently as I can. Thank you for watching. Hasta luego.